What are the three most important things that you think applicants should be doing to prepare themselves to apply to medical school in 2 years? In other words, we're not talking about this cycle, we're not talking about the upcoming cycle. We're talking about the 2027, maybe even 2028 cycle.
So certainly having an understanding of the timeline of when you're going to study for and take the MCAT and devoting the right amount of time to that and taking practice tests, understanding where your sort of scores are landing and thinking about, what your goals are for where you want to apply and thinking about, what the averages are, the ranges of accepted MCATs or even MCAT cutoffs at different institutions if they have them in their public. So I think that's something that's important, partially because you need to get that done, and partially because some schools have rules about how long that's good for, right? So if you took the MCAT 2 years ago and you're not going to apply for another 2 years, well, then you might need to retake it depending on the school's requirements. So thinking about that, thinking about today, here, if you were going to apply today, where are the holes? What are the weaknesses? And hopefully you could get someone to really point that out for you. Do you have a lot of clinical care, but it's a little bit more passive? You shadowed a bunch, but you haven't really, spent a lot of one-on-one time with patients. Well, maybe you should think about becoming a CNA or a medical assistant or a scribe, something where you're a little bit more face-to-face. Do you, you've done some volunteer work, but do you have any sort of leadership in those organizations, or, how longitudinal has that experience been? So I think I try and think about things that might take time to accomplish. Is your undergraduate GPA not the best, but it doesn't accurately reflect your current academic abilities? Well, then maybe you need to do some post-bac work. But again, that's going to take you some time, right? You've got to figure out what you want to do. You've got to enroll. You've got to take the classes. You've got to study and do well. So I think thinking about, okay, I'm not going to apply today, but if I was, what are the holes in my application and how might I bolster those?